Hello there, Booktube. So, I have been reading more of the Lies of Locke Lamora, and I'm here to discuss Chapter 1. Now, in my first video about this book, I mentioned that I'd read the prelude and that it was then separated into small chapters. As you can see, it says prelude and then a little one, which is true. If you turn the page, you can see there's a little 2, and it carries on like that all the way through. However, after the prelude, you'll see that it then has chapter titles. So here we have Chapter 1, and then a little 1. So there's chapters within chapters, which is actually fine. I actually really like that. I've had a quick flick through. I didn't want to catch anything with my eye and get a spoiler. I've had a quick flick through, and I believe that there are 14 chapters, like 14 main chapters, and they're subdivided into small sections around average 4 to 5 pages at most, I'd say. There's some that are, a paragraph, like literally less than a page, and there are some that are as much as 9 pages, I think. Having had a bit of a flick through, but again, I didn't want to accidentally catch something and read like a spoiler, so I was avoiding looking too deeply at it. So I've now read all of Chapter 1, and I want to have a little bit of a chat about it, but before I do, I want to explain what's been going on the channel, because this is the book club choice for October 11th. And I'm only talking about Chapter 1 now, which is probably going to make you think, hang on a minute, what's going on there? Because there's no way you're getting 14 videos at one a day out between now and the 11th. And you're quite right, I'm not going to. What I'm actually going to be doing is I'm going to be reading a hell of a lot more. I'm going to be reading 4 chapters a day, and I'll be making videos on each chapter, but I'll be putting them up later. I'll also be putting up videos for the other books I'm reading, which I have down here. I have George Orwell's 1984, which I finished a while ago, and have made a couple of videos, but haven't had a chance to edit them. And the first book I started, Terminal World, I'm still planning to make videos for this, but that's been put on the back burner, because I simply don't have time to read that and read Lies of Locke Lamora in time to discuss it at the book club. So I will be going back to Terminal World. I know I've only read a little bit. The main reason for the change up, I was planning to read more of Terminal World and carry it on alongside this book, but I had a very, very bad migraine. The first video for Lies of Locke Lamora is going to go up the same day I'm recording this now, but I actually recorded it 5 days ago. And the reason for that is, like I say, I recorded it, but then I had severe migraines. And the migraines just floored me. I was sleeping 12 hours a day and unable to do much of anything. I couldn't read anything. I wasn't able to edit the videos I'd already recorded. So I'm very much behind. So this is going to be a weird situation. I'm going to be recording videos in quick succession. I put them up as scheduled releases, hopefully. Hopefully, that's the plan. So that we can discuss this as I read it still, without me already having preconceptions. And, then that should still make for an interesting read-along. I'll still be answering comments, things like that. But yeah, that's the way I'm going to have to do it. But anyway, back to actually talking about the book. So, the first thing that I noticed about Chapter 1 is that the tone changes quite significantly. Once you have, once you reach Chapter 1, you're with an adult Locke Lamora and Jean, who it took me a while to realise that because I've seen reviews, it took me a while to realise that was Jean, because I've heard people talk about Locke and Jean, and I've seen the odd little YouTube video talking about like top 10 books, top 10 friends, things like that in books. And Locke and Jean I mentioned a few times. I was reading it and I kept reading it as Jean because it's spelt the same way, rather than the French Jean. So I was assuming it was a woman for the first couple of pages, and then I twigged and realised, oh no, of course this is Jean. So just a little aside there. Sometimes reading a book and listening to an audiobook and things like that can give you a very, very different perspective because of simple misunderstandings, miscommunications. But that aside, other than the little bit of name confusion, which I cleared up and realised very quickly, I've very much enjoyed the way the characters talk backwards and forwards, the gentleman bastards as they're called. The dynamic is very flamboyant, very over the top, but I believe that this is something that you've cultivated, that this is just the way they are with each other. I believe that it's very, very well realised. The world building really does push a sense of crowdedness in these canals and rivers, the number of boats that are described there, the number of people that are described. There's very casually thrown in world building that is almost constant. Here, love. The cat has joined us. Yeah. So, yeah, the world building is very, very well done, I found. And I was really enjoying the way the characters spoke backwards and forwards. What I would say made this chapter for me and made me really, really enjoy what I was reading was the structure. The structure of this book is its golden aspect. Not only are the chapters within chapters great for pacing, but the way that those chapters are put in place so that it's told non-linearly makes the book feel alive. You get a very clear indication of a thing that is happening and then another scene that is very obviously not happening at the same time because it doesn't fit in linear time. And you can quite quickly realise something on my face now. You can quite quickly realise that this is a scene that's happening before the scene you've just read. And then it jumps backwards and forwards between those two time streams, one of which being maybe hours, maybe just minutes before the first scene you've just read. So you know that these chapters will eventually wrap round to the other chapters you're reading. And it's very satisfying as you jump from perspective and from not just perspective, but from time period to time period. It feels very natural. It's not something I was expecting, but it was done so well that I became fully immersed. It took way longer to read than I was expecting, which is strange. Chapter 1 is, I think 30-something pages. From page 31 to 67, but 67 is almost completely blank. So 31 to 66. So we're looking at 35 pages, which shouldn't take that long. It took me over an hour to read that, well over an hour in fact, which is more than I would have expected. I'm obviously taking my time, I'm absorbing the dialogue, I'm absorbing the world building, the characterization. It's very, very entertaining, but it's something I'm doing very slowly, which is not helping given that I have to read 4 chapters a day in order to have this read by the 11th, which means I'm reading for 4 hours a day for the next few days if I want to finish this book in time. That's fine though, that's fine. I have nothing else to do on those days. So, other than that, I don't want to go into too much detail. I haven't made up my mind on anyone yet. The characters have all been well realised, the conversations are going well, and I like the world building, but I haven't had enough exposure to it to really make up my mind on anything yet, to have developed any favourites or have any idea where this is going. I do like the interlude at the end of the chapter, and by the looks of it, That is something that is happening at the end of every chapter. These interludes are going back to Locke Lamora's childhood and giving you a little bit more of his backstory, which then ties in with the prelude. And that is, again, a fantastic piece of structure. This is a masterclass in structure. And that is honestly the best part of this book. And it makes it a delight to read. I don't think I've read anything quite like it. And I'm still only one chapter in. So I'm hoping that it keeps up this structural cohesion all the way through, because that's going to just keep dragging me in. So I'm going to read a little more, and hopefully I'll be back with you fairly soon to discuss chapter 2 and see if there's anything new and different that I want to bring up. Chapter 1 obviously goes over their long con, the first con that they're doing in the book, and it sounds really interesting. I like the way that they plan and enact this this con job to try and get in well with this Don character. It'll be fun to see where it goes, but until I see its conclusion, I don't want to pass any judgment on it. But it seems interesting so far. But yeah, that's all I've got to say on chapter 1 of Lies of Locke Lamora, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.